I always invest my own money in the companies that I create. I don't believe in the whole thing of just using other people's money. I don't think that's right. I'm not going to ask other people to invest in something if I'm not prepared to do so myself. Cryptocurrency is promising, but please, invest with caution. I still own and won't sell my Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Doji. Buy stock in several companies that make products and services that you believe in. Only sell if you think their products and services are trending worse. Don't panic when the market does. I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. When something is important enough, you do it, even if the odds are not in your favor. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket, as long as you control what happens to that basket. It is generally better to own physical things, like a home or stock, in companies you think make good products, rather than keeping your money in cash. To make an embarrassing admission, I like video games. That's what got me into software engineering when I was a kid. I wanted to make money so I could buy a better computer to play better video games. Nothing like saving the world. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. I don't create companies for the sake of creating companies, but to get things done. Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive, and determination of the people behind it as the product they sell. Work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in 80 to 100-hour weeks every week. This improves the odds of success. If other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that you will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve. Being an entrepreneur is like eating glass and staring into the abyss of death. If you're trying to create a company, it's like baking a cake. You have to have all the ingredients in the right proportion. Some people are no nonsense, but personally, I like a little nonsense. When somebody has a breakthrough innovation, it is rarely one little thing. Very rarely is it one little thing. It's usually a whole bunch of things that collectively amount to a huge innovation. When Henry Ford made cheap, reliable cars, people said, "Now, what's wrong with a horse?" That was a huge bet he made, and it worked. If something has to be designed and invented, and you have to figure out how to ensure that the value of the thing you create is greater than the cost of the inputs, then that is probably my core skill. The thing to remember is that when companies are little, they're like tadpoles. I mean, they just die very easily. You need to have an environment that tries to protect little companies and help them get bigger. If you're building a company, you've got to gather great people. I mean, all company is a group of people that have gathered together to create a product or service. I'm not sure looking at competitors really helps. It's sort of like the old adage with running. If you start looking at the other runners, It's not good, you know. I read a lot of books and talk to lots of people. I didn't have any one person who was a mentor, but I always look for feedback from the people around me and feedback from the historical context, which is books basically. Great companies are built on great products. When the product starts to become shoddy and uncompetitive, so does the company. Starting a business is not for everyone. Generally, starting a business, I'd say, number one is to have a high pain threshold. When you first start a company, there's lots of optimism and things are great. Happiness at first is high. Then you encounter all sorts of issues and happiness will steadily decline. And then you will go through a whole world of hurt. And then eventually, if you succeed, and in most cases you will not succeed, if you succeed then, after a long time, you will finally get back to happiness. My theory is like, you'd rather be optimistic. I think I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. Because if you're pessimistic, it's going to be miserable. I would say try to learn as much as possible that allows you to predict the future or make the future. So the saying is that the best way to predict the future is to make it. I mean, there are examples of successful entrepreneurs who never graduated high school, and there are those that have PhDs. You get paid in the direct proportion to the difficulty of problems you solve. Don't always be nice to people. In business, be as direct as possible. If something is important enough and there are odds against it, against you, you still have to pursue it. Persistence is very important. You should never give up unless you are forced by your mind to give up. If one has a vision and is continuously working on the idea, then nothing is impossible. Life is too short for long-term grudges. Know what motivates you. Keeping your eye on the ball is key. The key to success and to fulfill your dreams is having clear vision. As much as possible, avoid hiring MBAs. MBA programs don't teach people how to create companies. Learn from your failures and keep going. Learn from your mistakes. See what went wrong and what is stopping you from getting the desired results. Work on it and keep moving.